this movie is so touching and so beautifully done. I mean, um, I know it's based on true events, Dimitri, but tell me about how you are personally kind of inspired by it.
Well, Tony, unfortunately, I wish this was not the film I made because it's about my daughter.
Mm.
And it was inspired by my daughter. And on March, the Memorial Day of March 2017, upstate New York, she was in a car crash, and she did not survive the accident. And myself, my family, and her friends and the rest of the community, we had to deal with what was dealt to us. And I tried to do this, and this is what came out.
Well, this is how you answer a tragedy with your creative, mind and heart. If you were a sculptor, you would have done something else. But as a filmmaker, you did leave a monument to her.
Yeah, I wanted to paint her back to life, because with every line, I thought, what would Alyssa want to say? How would she react? What would be her response to this?
Emma, the responsibility of playing someone like this has got to be huge. You have to get it right. And in dealing with all of this, when I saw the film, there is a huge amount of love that is emanating, whether it's on a computer screen that I wired a big screen. So we get that as an audience, but as an actress, how does that inform you?
Yeah, like you said, it did feel like a huge responsibility. I think everyone in the cast and crew wanted to get it right, but at the same time, Dimitri never made it seem that way at all. I didn't know that this was based on his daughter until I booked it, and he called me and told me, which in some ways I'm really grateful for. I feel like I would have been an anxious mess in the audition room. But I just focused on, like Dimitri said, just bringing her light. It is a labor of love. And I never felt pressure. I mean, I put pressure on myself, but it felt like I was just playing Angie and loving on the other characters that were in the scenes with me. So
as a director, is Dimitri, I know he's right here, but we're going to talk like he's not here. As a director, is he an actor's director, would you say?
He gave me so much freedom. Honestly, like, it was the best experience I could have hoped for in my first leading role. It was very much like, I trust you, do what you think you need to do. If I need to tweak it a bit, I can. Which was so freeing and so nice, just to be able to do whatever I kind of wanted and what I thought she would do. And then for him to be like, okay, let's try this, let's try that. It was such a great experience working with him.
Every so often a movie comes together, and it's, it doesn't have to be a big budget film, but it comes together with the perfect cast. And you have this in this, Dimitri. I'm an old friend of Bruce Davidson's. I love him to death. And Joanna Cassidy, they are both extremely gifted actors. I imagine not only were they a pleasure to work with, but, I know Bruce, and he creates a wonderful environment as far as, that people can learn from him, because he's been in front of the camera, behind the camera. So what was that experience like in working with Bruce?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. In fact, I'm going to share a private story that a lot of people don't know on the set with Bruce. We shot a scene, we're shooting a low budget film, and our time is limited, and we're always an hour short, and 10 shots behind. And we're shooting a shot with Bruce where we don't have the time to do a turnaround shot. And I feel that we have to get that shot, but we just don't get it. And we have to go downstairs and we have to shoot another scene. And Bruce says, we have to get a turnaround shot. And I'm like, this is very European. It has to, like, it has to stay that way. And we wind up not shooting that shot. And I go home and I can't live with it because I know Bruce is right. Instinctively, I know that it has to be done. And so we started the next day. We did day for night and we shot that shot. Wow. And I apologize to Bruce, and we hug it out, of course. But working with Bruce was just insanely great. Absolutely, such a pro and incredible. Such a great learning experience.
Emma, when you're on set, is that an education for you? Every set, you learn something?
Oh my gosh, I felt so privileged to even be in the same room with them. It was, yes, I was trying to soak up all of the knowledge that I could. I had a little note section on my phone with Bruce, what he was saying. I asked him if I could. And yeah, it isn't often that you get to be in the company of actors like that, just giants. And so it was so exciting and so wonderful to work with them, to actually get to act with them. I felt like a kid on a playground. So,
I know our time is kind of limited, but I did want to get to this, that as a director, I know that people think that your mind is set on dealing with the actors and getting the right actor for the right role and all of that. But my gosh, the crew that you have working behind the scenes, were they handpicked? Because the way that your camera floated, the way that the lighting was, you have grips and gaffers that nobody ever mentions in these interviews, but they did an outstanding job.
Pablo Diaz, who is my director of photography, Marcos Cato, the production designer. No words can describe it. And we were so in sync together as far as what feeling we want to get, rather than how do we shoot the scene and get out. No, it was more about let's get it right. Let's have less shots, but get it right. And for me, it was an incredible learning experience from working with such pros, especially when the locations change in this, and you have only 3 hours to come up with something, and somebody brilliant like Marcus does that. So my hat is off to them. Incredible.
Well, I do want you to know that as a film critic, I notice those things, and I always take little notes about, certain moments in a film that just are, there's something spiritual about it, something, ethereal that happens when it's all done right. And my gosh, you did such a great job in this. Emma, I'm going to give you the last word. What do you think audiences are going to walk away with once they see the film?
I hope it's just to love on the people around you. I really think that is something that I got from working on the film and from watching the film, was just love the people around you. It is your superpower. I hope and pray that is what people get from watching it.
And I do want to thank you both for your time. Mitri, my heart goes out to you, but what a beautiful tribute to someone very, very special and lovely. It's a pleasure talking with you, and I hope we can meet again sometime in person and share a cup of coffee.
Absolutely, Tony. Thank you so very much for your time.
Both of you take care, and I hope I get to see you on the next ones.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.